r/ask Reddit. What was the biggest bullet you dodged? I had a cardiac arrest about 4 years ago. Dropped dead-ish in the middle of my shift. Found out after I woke up about a week later that A. The manager who saw me fall was a former lifeguard and knew proper CPR. B. An ambulance happened to be passing about 2 blocks away. Probably the best cardio unit in my state was a 10-minute ambulance ride from where it all happened. Walked out of the hospital about 2 weeks later. Full recovery. Just before starting HS, I got hit by a car doing 35 miles per hour while riding my bike. Open bracket. T-boned. My bike went under the car. I was thrown up. Smashed the windshield out with my back. Was flipped over the car and landed a perfect no-hop landing on my feet like a gymnast, minus the arms raised flourish at the end. The entire accident was witnessed by a firefighter who was watching out his window, literally standing right next to his emergency radio, and called for an ambulance. The lady who hit me got out of her car, yelling, "I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse. Lie down." I had no breaks or fractures, just a bruised ribcage. Holy shit. That's incredible. I can't tell you how many patients I've cared for who have become paraplegics or quadriplegics after being hit by a car going 35 miles per hour or even less. I'm so glad you landed on your feet. Literally LOL. Not changing jobs in early 2020 would have been a short-lived promotion after early restructuring and layoffs. I changed jobs the 9th of March, 2020. 2 days later my city shut down and everyone was sent to work from home. My new company committed to zero COVID layoffs. The company I left laid off about 80% of my department. Dodge a bullet, haha. Same thing. Mine committed to zero COVID layoffs. Apparently restructuring layoffs were fair game though. Was going to move to a different apartment complex last month. Got injured at work and lost hours. Therefore, couldn't come up with the deposit money in time. Last week Summer Shat was cooking meth and caught the building on fire. Edit. Ray my username. My current apartment complex is notorious in my city for having elevator troubles. So in reality, username does check out. Also, you could say I dodged 2 bullets. 1. The fire. 2. I know bad stuff happens everywhere blah blah blah, but the new place really didn't strike me as the kind of place where meth heads live. So I guess avoiding those kind of people for neighbors was dodging a bullet in itself. Thank God username doesn't check out. Edit. I am but a simple yam. Thank you all for the awards. In 1992 I was 16. A bunch of us were about to leave a party and I called shotgun. But my friend Pat kind of wrestled me out of the spot and I wound up jumping in another car since the first car was now full. The other driver and I watched as our friend's car skidded into oncoming traffic. Pat was airlifted to the local trauma hospital where his dad told a huge group of us teenagers that Pat had succumbed to his injuries. Maybe that's not exactly bullet dodged, but, edit, I guess this is what people mean by a comment blowing up. Pat's driver and my driver were racing each other. The road had just been paved and the shoulder was loose gravel. So when Pat's driver applied their brakes when the passenger side of the car was over the line on the right side of the number 2 lane, the passenger tires kept spinning while the driver's side locked up, spinning the car into an oncoming pickup. The oncoming driver was hospitalized and recovered. Pat's driver broke a femur, was convicted of vehicular manslaughter, sentenced to home detention, but was late to get home from high school one day which tripped the ankle monitor and the driver did 30 days. The 3 kids in the back had to be extracted by the jaws of life. Broke some bones. Got an insurance settlement. However, I don't think I would have died if I got shotgun. We would have left 15 seconds earlier and we wouldn't have hit that oncoming pickup. Or maybe we would have. Similar story. I was going out with my mom and sister when I was in about middle school. I always sat in the passenger side backseat if it was more than me and the driver. My sister decided at the last second that she would stay home, and we got T-boned on the way home in a hit and run. The other car totaled our car, with all the damage on the back passenger seat, where I should have been sitting. I still think about that often. I prefer the driver's side, with the assumption that the driver will be more aware of and responsive to threats on the same side. That thought has guided the placement of the car seat for my kid's entire life. Edit. I think it will save everybody some time to let you know that there are 7 Dwight Schrute comments so far, with 2 of them linking the video clip. When my great aunt passed away, I was helping to clean out her house. I'm just dragging everything out of the basement and suddenly my dad is like, "Whoa, put that down gently and let's move away from here." So I put the weird metal tube type thing I'm carrying down and get out of there. Turns out it's a mortar shell from when my aunt worked in a munitions factory during World War II. A bomb squad came and took it away. I'm just casually going to take a mortar from work. No problem at all, as you do. Did you ever hear back from the bomb squad about whether or not it was still active? If they took it rather than safely detonating it, I would imagine it was almost certainly inactive, unless there's more to the story than OP is letting on. Not me, but I had a field service engineer working on one of my big robotic liquid handlers. He decided to bypass the safety pin that prevents the heads from moving while the cover is open while he had a diagnostic program queued up on the computer. What he didn't know was that the instant he reinserted the safety pin, the machine would execute the queued instructions and start moving. And he had a hand inside it right in the danger zone. I grabbed his shoulder and yanked his hand out an instant before it was crushed. He stopped ignoring me when I told him to stop bypassing safety lockouts to save a few minutes. Bro, I'm sure this guy isn't completely responsible for you guys putting a safety system in place, but it sounds like he certainly had a hand in it. Damn it, take my upvote. I stayed up all night before a day trip to Hong Kong. You know the days when you haven't slept, you're just kinda robotic and doing the human stuff. Nearly zero awareness of anything? Well, I went across a street and my friend behind me snatched my shoulder and yanked me backwards just in time to feel the whoosh of a double-decker bus breezing past us. I just looked at him like, oh, thanks man, and it took a whole extra minute for my brain to process I would be duck and dead had he not grabbed me. I think I saved a baby's life once. It was in a city center, crossing a main road with a whole bunch of other people. The dad was pulling the pram behind him onto the pavement while he texted on his phone, and the dumb duck didn't realize he'd left the pram just there on the road while he himself was on the pavement. Everyone kinda ignored it while the traffic lights kept that section of road clear, but then the lights changed and the ducking moron still hadn't looked up from his phone while a huge double-decker was bearing down on his offspring. Out of the whole crowd, I was the only one to push forward and pull the pram onto the pavement. The complete imbecile gave a grunt of surprise and dropped his phone as the bus whooshed past and he realized he'd utterly failed in his parenting responsibilities. Which was some consolation. I hope it chatted. Thanks you all for the praise. I don't feel good about the situation though. Just seething fury. And to those who told me I should have let the baby die, go eat a takeaway bag of shit on your way to a therapist. About why the bus driver didn't stop, I honestly have no idea. There were a few seconds between me pulling the pram back and my memory of the bus going by. Maybe he realized it would be fine. Or maybe he was driving automatically and hadn't noticed. Whatever. I'm just glad I didn't have to see a baby die painfully that day. Forget the phone shattering. I'd hope he reflects on that moment often. Similar situation, but he had kids with another woman and ended up murdering their kids and tried killing her. He also robbed a ton of old people and now he's in jail for life. Bullet dodged. Your story. Boys and girls, remember this. Violence always escalates. Went to kill myself by putting a plastic bag over my head and tying it off. Figured it would be less messy to be found. My cat started going crazy on the other side of the door when I started to get lightheaded and feel sort of nauseous. I thought, oh right, you need your dinner and no one else will feed you, and I untied the bag to feed the cat. After the fact I realized my cat literally saved me from one of my lowest points. God, I miss that cat. Still can't believe I came that close. Edit. Hi friends. Thank you for all the warm thoughts and sharing stories of your savior pets. Do save your awards please. This is the most I've ever gotten. Maybe give them to another comment that has yet to receive an award. Spread the smiles, love and support. Thank you so much. I'm truly touched by the human connection in this thread. I might sound crazy, but I'm sure your cat knew. I attempted suicide by trying to slice my wrists. But as soon as I sat in my kitchen with the knife in my hand, my dog rushed to me and started licking my arms and my face. To this day, I'm sure she knew what was going on. Seeing her so desperate for me to stop was what prevented me from doing it. God, I miss that doggo. Edit. Holy crap. I wasn't expecting this to blow up. Thanks for sharing your stories. For the kind messages and the awards, everyone. I wish you all the best in these difficult times. Edit 2. 10,000 upvotes. Thank you. Seriously, don't forget to check on your loved ones. Whether they look sad, depressed or not, not everyone opens up about mental health. I'd agree with this. My GF, now wife, got pregnant when we were teenagers. It was obviously a very difficult time and we spent a lot of time sitting on my couch contemplating how to handle the situation. Without fail, my dog would come and lay his head across my wife's stomach. This was very early on, she wasn't showing at all, and it was very comforting to her. However, it may not have been intuition. We assumed maybe he could hear the heartbeat or had a new smell now that she was getting pregnancy hormones. Our baby came out healthy and we went on to have another happy baby, earn a master's and doctorate degree, and buy our first home by 26. My mother left me in one state and went back to my abusive stepfather. She tried to get me to drop out of my senior year at HS, move back to their state and just get my GED. They wanted a live-in babysitter, cook and maid. I was so lucky my grandparents let me move in with them and finish school. Edit. Thanks for all the love, guys. For those who have asked, I'm doing great. I've gone no contact with my mother and stepfather. They're still together, and it's been one of the most healthy decisions I've made. My husband and my kids are amazing and she's missing out big time. My grandparents are alive and well and are still involved in our lives. It's always the grandparents that are the true homies. Grandparents have the grim misfortune of seeing their children become complete assholes, and then treat their grandkids the way they wish they'd treated their kids. Not my story, but a girl I knew had had a few drinks and decided to hitchhike home, a town about 40 minutes away from the one she'd been drinking in. Note it is very common for people to hitchhike in this area. She gets picked up by a car of guys. All seems fine until she points out they can drop her off just up ahead, and they keep driving. She had that instant sober feeling. She plays it off like she's clueless and totally down to keep hanging out with them, acting like she's very drunk. Meanwhile, they're back in more forested area of the highway. Then she fake dry heaves and says she about to puke, really putting on a show, so they stop to let her out. She books it into the bushes and just doesn't look back until she's safe. Edit. Oh my gosh, you guys. Not even my story stopped giving me awards. To answer some common things in comments, from what I'm aware of, no charges were ever pressed. By the time she made it to safety, they would have been long gone and she had no info like names, license plate or anything. Yes, smart idea once in that situation. Definitely not smart to be in that situation in the first place though. Edit 2. I just remembered another, not mine but equals my mom, as a late teen early 20s ish, was with a group of friends out drinking one night and one girl wanted to hitchhike. The others didn't. She gets picked up, never to be seen again. Not even her body found. Don't drink and hike, hitch people. That was very smart of her. Edit. Cliche but 6. 4k upvotes. That's the most I've gotten. LOL. Thanks and hope your day goes well. When I was in high school, we had a cop come talk to us about what to do if we were in the car with someone and things didn't feel right. They said to use the 3 P's and say you desperately gotta puke, gotta pee, or gotta poop, and the ducker more often than not cares more about their car getting soiled than whatever they wanted to do to you, and will let you out. After I had a stroke, I was in a coma and it didn't look like I'd wake up. The doctors asked my wife if they should let me go. I only exist because she said no. I didn't dodge a bullet so much as my wife blocked it for me. Edit. I didn't think this would be this popular. I'm posting a video my wife made of the first year of recovery if anyone's interested. Warning. It's long. https:// Google. Comfile D/1 DVCWL 6 IGZ9 AJJOG PI EJDKXR9 NView. Honestly, this made me tear up a lil. Please tell your wife that she's incredible. My aunt did something similar. She saved her husband from a heart attack by using her nursing experience and network to get him on the table before it even started. To this day, even doctors have no idea what caused his heart attack. But my aunt and your wife are legit superheroes. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.